today's mission is makeup brushes. But I got a bowl of water right here. I have a napkin right here. I got all my brushes set out. I always use Dawn. I usually use blue, but I was feeling green today. And I always use olive oil. You only need a little bit because you want your bristles to stay soft, but you don't want them to be greasy. I always use some type of makeup remover or micellar water as well. I'm not going to use too much of this because it's too expensive. So I actually ended up finding some micellar water, and I used the last bit of that and a little bit of the Chanel eye makeup remover, some Dawn, and a tad bit, just a tad bit of olive oil to keep in some moisture so your bristles don't dry out. And please excuse my voice. I'm just as sleepy as I was making this video, editing it. So let me explain my little brush cleaning situation. It depends on what I got going on. So these brushes in the very beginning of the video were brushes that had not been used. Like I literally ripped them out of the packaging, or they just weren't dirty at that moment, meaning they had no makeup or mascara, not just nothing. It was nothing on the brushes. I'm talking about mascara. I meant eyeshadow. But those brushes just got dipped and rinsed off and wiped off because they didn't need a thorough clean like some of the other brushes did. Like that one. The foundation had been sitting on those bristles for some time. And you could tell it was caked on there because no foundation even came off in the water. I put some soap on it and still, it didn't even suds up. That's how you know something is dirty, when it don't suds up. And I put soap on this brush a couple times because you can just see it was not coming clean easily at all. Unlike this brush, I only had to put some soap on it one time, give it a good scrub down, and rinse it off. So what you see me using is a makeup brush cleaner, which I highly recommend. I guess I did it twice, but I highly recommend because it cleans your makeup brushes and your sponges too. There are a couple of different patterns on the makeup brush cleaner. So for me, I like to use the Leslie Dense Packed. I don't know how to say it. Like the looser brushes, like the powder brushes or the highlighter brushes, the brushes that aren't so compact together, I use the part of the mat that has the less compactly dense spikes, if that makes sense. So the looser, wider brushes got the looser, wider spikes, if that makes sense. And then the more compact brushes, whether they're big or small, got the more compact and the smaller spikes. I really hope that makes sense. And then I use the waves and the lines that are in the middle of the mat for the sponges mostly. I really think that's how you're supposed to use it as well. Like I did what I felt was easiest for me, but they do come with instructions. This one is by Sonia Kashuk. That the makeup brush mats usually come with instructions telling you what type of brushes or which brushes to use for each section of the mat. And then as I go along, the smaller the brushes get, the more of them I start to wash together. So as you can see, the bigger brushes I was washing by themselves, and I'm getting tired at this point. And the medium brushes, I started washing 2 of them together. And for my smaller brushes, I tend to wash 3 or 4 of them together. Just this just makes it easier for me because don't nobody feel like sitting here washing brushes one at a time. And I do not let my brushes soak in bowls of water or sit in bowls of water or in any water. You don't want to get the ferrule of your brush wet. I'll probably have to show that in another video. But getting the ferrule of the brush wet, which is the part that connects the brush with the bristles, can loosen up the glue and the makeup brush can fall apart, and you don't want that. But it's not hard at all to wash these makeup brushes as long as you take your time. Make sure you are rinsing the brushes after you wash them because you don't want to get soap stuck in your bristles either. That's why I went back in with just that brush instead of the other one that I was washing with it because it still has some soap in it, and I wanted to make sure I get that out. And even if I don't show it on every brush in the video, these brushes did get rinsed through after they were washed, whether it was a big brush, a little brush, or even a sponge. Each brush was rinsed through after they were washed, whether it was a big brush, a little brush, or even a sponge. Each brush was rinsed through after they were washed, whether it was a big brush, a little brush, or even a sponge. Each brush was rinsed through after they were washed, whether it was a big brush, a little brush, or even a sponge. Each brush was washed, scrubbed, and rinsed before it was laid down to dry. And I absolutely encourage you to wash your makeup brushes the day that you use them, if not the next day. It is so much easier to just get the fresh makeup off the brushes versus the brushes having sat for a long time. And you got to scrub them, or if they've sat for a long time and you use the highly pigmented eyeshadow, for example, which I've done this a couple times, and then it stains your brush, and even when it's clean, it look like it's dirty. I had to clean the makeup brush cleaning mat too, because the suds and water was getting piled up in the grooves and bristles, and it was dirty, and I didn't want to be putting dirty water back on clean brushes or on brushes that I'm trying to clean. It just seemed counterproductive. And I'm still using that trick of using more than one brush at a time. Make sure you have good posture. Make sure you are rinsing every brush before you put it down to dry. And then here comes, oh no, I thought I was about to move on to the sponges, but this is why I said make sure that you do them as soon as you're done, or make sure that you clean your makeup brushes as soon as you're done. And don't let the stuff get like caked up on them, because these are my like concealer brushes and the brushes that I use for my paint pot when I do my eyeshadow. And these brushes are too, and it got stuck on there. No, these are eyeshadow brushes, and I think one of them was stained. My whole point is just clean your brushes, please. Those ones had concealer stuck on them. That's why I'm like trying to press the soap and press the water into the bristles. Don't let your makeup brushes sit with all that old makeup on it. You don't want that to get into the bristles. You don't want it to be one of the reasons you break out. A lot of people be thinking that they break out because of the makeup when it's actually your dirty brushes, or they think they're not cleaning their skin enough, and the whole time it be the brushes. So for the sake of your skincare, for the sake of the quality of your brushes, that's one of my favorite brushes. It's an eyeshadow brush. Look at that dirty water. Just clean your makeup brushes as soon as possible so that they don't have caked up makeup. You're not breaking out, and it's not taking so much time and energy for you to clean them. I do not add olive oil to my water when I'm making or when I'm cleaning my sponges. The oil is used on the bristles with the intention to make sure that they stay moisturized, and you don't necessarily want a sponge to stay moisturized. They're supposed to dry out over time. But I wanted to add this clip in here to show y'all that it is easy to wash those cloth brushes, because for a long time, I didn't, not brushes, sponges, child. I'm tired, honey. For a long time, I didn't use them because I thought that they would be hard to clean or the stains wouldn't get out. But even with the regular sponges, as you can see, that makeup cleaning mat really did its job by getting the foundation and the concealer off those sponges, because that makeup had sat on those for a while, like you about to see here, and it still came out really clean. All I had to do was scrub them across that makeup brush cleaner, and I didn't even know you could clean sponges with the makeup brush cleaner. That's what the grooves and the lines are for. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all like, follow, and subscribe.